All right, let's start with the big story that we're tracking on WION at this hour. Now, the final National Register of Citizens list, or the NRC, for the state of Assam has now gone live. It went live at 10 a.m. this morning. The government claims that the list is intended to identify legal citizens and remove illegal immigrants who might have acquired Indian citizenship. Now, according to press release that's been given out by Pratik Hajela, the state coordinator for NRC Assam, a total of 3,11,21,004 people have been found eligible to be Indian citizens and therefore have been included in the National Register of Citizens for Assam. Now, on the other hand, a total of 19,06,657 people have not been included in the final National Register of Citizens list. Last year round, when the draft list had been announced, almost about 40 lakh people had been excluded from the draft NRC. But what has been released today is the final NRC list. Now, this includes those who have also not submitted their claims. The NRC has now been uploaded on its official website, and the general public that has been waiting with bated breath for this and with a lot of anxiety can check its names to see whether they have made it into the final list of the National Register of Citizens. However, the centre has said that any individual whose name does not appear on the final NRC list cannot be declared a foreigner until he or she has exhausted all legal options. Now, every individual left out of the NRC list will be able to appeal to the Foreigners Tribunal, and the time limit to register an appeal has also been extended from 60 days to 120 days. And also what is interesting is that over 100 Foreigners Tribunals have already been set up and they are open now. The central government has stated that another 200 will be opened in the first week of September. Now, even if an individual were to lose an appeal in the Foreigners Tribunal, then one can always register an appeal in the High Court and then in the Supreme Court. And the central government has reiterated that no individual can be put into a detention centre until all legal options are exhausted. Now, security has, of course, been tightened and over 60,000 policemen have been posted, and an additional 20,000 paramilitary forces have also been sent by the centre to the state. And to add more perspective on this, we are joined in by our senior political affairs editor, Karthikeya Sharma, who's joining us over the phone line. Good morning to you, Karthikeya. So the final NRC list, which was awaited in the state of Assam, that has now gone live. So anyone, who's a resident of Assam can now log into this website to check whether they are included in the NRC list or not. What more information do we have on this?
Watered down NRC list, because roughly 19 lakh people are there. It's not like as if only 19 lakh people have entered India from 1971. I think the mathematics goes in the crores, because a large part of them have migrated to places like Delhi, Mumbai, Noida, the suburbs. And we all know that they're part of allied and subsidiary service, household, domestic health. It's all there for everyone to see. Like, for example, Rohingya settlement in Jammu or the Rohingya settlement in Delhi. The Rohingya settlement itself is more than 10,000 strong in Delhi. So we can very well understand how big the Bengali economic illegal immigrants are. Rohingyas are refugees, these are illegal immigrants. Now, issue are threefold. One is that Accord, though opposition has been saying that this is not correct, we are going to create stateless people, was authored by Rajiv Gandhi. It's a commitment made by the Congress government then to the people of Assam.
Right.
So it was on a bipartisan issue, Saleh.
All right.
Second issue is that it's about indigenous community of Assamese become minority in their own land. And third is, which a lot of social scientists have raised, the issue. What do you do with people, for example, 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, if they are deemed stateless? Now, that is where the problem is. Larger issue here is...
at the time the Assam Accord was signed back in the 1980s, during the time of Rajiv Gandhi, did they think about this? Because, it was very well when they stated that, yes, we will have an NRC which will identify the citizens and then the illegal immigrants. But the fact of the matter is, even recently, S. Jaishankar, when he was in Bangladesh, stated that the NRC is strictly an internal matter of India.
Absolutely. Now, it does three things. It's a very good question you have asked me. Bangladesh has been the most cooperative neighbor with us. In fact, on most of the issues of terrorism and trade, Bangladesh has been most cooperative. But the issue is that the illegal immigrants have not only changed the demography, Saleh, but they have also changed the way people are being elected in Assam. Now, it is for this reason BJP swept to power. There's a word in Assamese called Khilonjia Sarkar, which roughly translates into English, government of indigenous people for the indigenous people.
Right.
Now, we can get into the larger sociological debate as to who is indigenous or not, because even Ahoms migrated from Myanmar 500 years back. But with the formation of nation state post-1648 Treaty of Westphalia and emergence and solidification of borders, it is very important to factor in the feeling of the people who stay there. So NRC needs to be respected as a bipartisan political project. Issue of what you do with them is secondary right now. No one is going to push them across the border. But one thing definitely the government will need to do is to take away the voter IDs. That is something which has created social unrest and violence. It is on this issue Congress was sent out of power in Assam and AJP swept in. So we have to historically identify the issues of Northeast. It is not about India. It is about Northeast, which is so fragile ethnically.
All right. And just before I let you go, Karthikeya, one of the strongest oppositions to the NRC comes from the BJP government in the state. For instance, the Assam Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has said that we've lost hope in the present form of the NRC right after the draft when so many genuine Indians have been left out. How can you claim that this document is a red letter for the Assamese society? This is something that has been said by Himanta Biswa Sarma. How is this to be reconciled?
Saleh, you are spot on. See, what Hemant Biswa Sarma is saying, that people in larger numbers are being identified in urban areas. Where actual demographic change has taken place in the two districts which Hemant Biswa Sarma is talking about, adjoining Bangladesh border, only 6% of these people have been identified as illegal immigrants. So it is in this context, the so-called former congressman, the maverick of Northeast, Hemant Biswa Sarma is upset with Bharatiya Janata Party. But NRC is less about BJP and Congress, and I think it's more about for the stability of Northeast. Like, for example, I would finish on this note. When I covered Manipur elections, Saleh, I actually saw Bangladeshi settlements living with the local Methi population, and people would say that they were not here 6 years back. It is a real issue, and the government must act on it, taking into confidence Bangladesh that it will create strife in Northeast if we fail to cap the influx.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Karthikeya Sharma, for joining us and getting us the latest in terms of what is unfolding with the NRC. So the list, the final list, this is not a draft, this is a final list. This is now gone live. 3.3 crores 11 lakh people, they have been included in the final NRC list, while over 19 lakh people have now been left out. But that doesn't mean that they can be put into a detention center. That does not mean that they will be declared a foreigner. They will have a process of appeal, first into the Foreigners Appeals Tribunal, and then in the High Court, and then into the Supreme Court to prove whether they are the citizens of the country.